Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. In terms of just some announcements before we get started, we'll be running for the usual couple of hours. We'll be taking a break halfway through. And one thing that I failed to mention on the previous announcements, which I really should have been doing, is we are looking to start trying to build our subscribers on our YouTube channel, which of course this VOD will be getting posted to on Thursday. So if you could head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. And the link for that channel will be in the description of this Twitch video. And that would be very much appreciated to everyone who does it. So thank you very much. And that helps us out an awful lot, especially for what we're hoping to achieve. And that is everything in terms of announcements. So Ian, back over to the game.
So last week we left on quite a cliffhanger with Stephen, and it'd be kind of rude of me not to pick up from that point, but I'm feeling rather rude. So Victor,
Yeah. Okay, I knew it. I knew it.
you're on your way to the medical college, aren't you?
Yes.
So you eventually arrive at the medical college. You've been here quite a few times. As you start making your way through the college, make me a stealth roll if you don't mind.
Fail.
Fail. So as you get about halfway through the college, you hear a voice very familiar to you, and it's Victor, Victor, Victor. What are you doing here? And you can see as you look behind you, you can see a very familiar gentleman, the dean of medicine, a rather large gentleman, quite big built, almost rotund, in a nice suit, walking towards you, and he's like, "I have told you, you're not allowed on this premises."
I didn't seem to get that memo.
Victor, this is the third time. After the last
The-
time, you're not allowed on these premises.
these specific premises?
Yes,
Like right here?
yes. You're not allowed in the college, any college grounds.
Fine. So, how's your day?
It was good until I seen you. Now, you either leave right now or I phone the police.
Would you give me just one moment?
One
I
moment.
just need I need to have a conversation with someone. It's
Okay.
very important about my new job.
Who you here to see?
Dr. Hamley.
Dr. Hamley. Okay, well, he's in medical lab 6. Head there, see him, then head straight home, off the premises.
Thank you so much. Good day. And I'm just gonna turn around and walk away.
Okay, so you head off towards.
I am not heading to Dr. Hamley's.
Okay,
I'm going to head to the cold storage area, where I assume there will be some cadavers.
but yeah, as you head to the cold storage area, I've been here quite a few times. There's quite a lot of cadavers. It's New York. There's quite a lot of deaths on a general day-to-day basis. But you eventually arrive at the cold storage area. You can see it's almost like a morgue. Lots of doors with draw out trolleys on them. And what you're looking for? Anything in particular?
Um, a male body that's roughly 5 to 6 feet tall, that hasn't been like touched at all.
Okay. Yeah, so that's not that hard to find. It's New York after all. It's the 1930s. But yeah, you definitely find a body there, male body. It looks like it's prepped for surgery, but not actually been through surgery yet.
Cool. I would like to use my very extensive medical skills to remove the lungs from this body and put them into a storage container to take with me.
Okay. So you spend probably about an hour or two removing these lungs. You eventually get them out, get them into storage containers, start heading out of college. Make me another stealth roll if you don't mind.
I will use free luck to make that a success.
Okay, so yes, you make your way out of the college without another incident with the Dean of Medicine. You eventually exit the college. Start making your way back to your laboratory, I'm guessing.
Yes. Once I get back to the lab, I will put the lungs into a more secure container so that they don't get damaged or start decaying, and then start studying on how to attach the lungs underneath the diaphragm so
Okay.
that when Ivan breathes in, those lungs get decompressed, and when Ivan breathes out, those ones are wearing. But
Okay.
basically, he's got another bit of lungs underneath his diaphragm.
Well, eventually, when you arrive back at the lab, you find Ivan arm wrestling what looks like a snake hand and 3/4 of a forearm. They're having an arm wrestling contest. Eh, but yeah, it seems like
Ivan,
he just kind of looks up at you, a bit of a
if you break it, I'm going to have to hurt you again.
kind of looks up at you with a vacant look in his face, and he's like points at the hand. He's like him, him, him. The hand just kind of look almost like moves to look towards you, and it looks. You can see the reptilian hand, the 3/4 of the forearm.
Very well, Ivan, have your fun. I'll go about my studying.
Okay, so you head off to study.
Mm-hmm.
Francis, it's the day's passed. You've had quite a relaxing day traveling throughout New York. You eventually head back to your private club
Yep.
where everybody else. We head back multiple times, and you head in. The bartender looks at you, gives you a nod, starts pouring a
No.
glass, puts it on the table, slides it towards you. And
Evening.
he's like, "Evening, found the gentleman you were looking for, follow me."
Certainly.
And he leads you through, and he leads you up to what looks like a private booth at the back of the club. There's curtains there, and it's all closed off with the curtains. And he's like, Mr. Philmoni said you were to use his booth. His friends should help friends, so he said to use his booth.
Thank you.
And he opens the curtain, and you can see a very familiar semi-balding gentleman, hair around the side of the head, a hooked nose, glasses, sitting there, and he's like, looks up and he's like, "Hi, Mr. Was it McGinnis?" "No, it's not McGinnis, is it?" And he starts looking for his book, and he's like, "McGinty, that's it,
Yes,
McGinty." He's like, "How are you doing? It's been a long
I'm
time."
doing well.
That's very good.
Yes.
And he looks up to the gentleman with you, and he's like, "Oh, another whiskey, please." The bartender's like, "Yes, of course, sir." Gets up and heads off and leaves you and this gentleman and so on. Gentleman's sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, so what can I do for you?"
On my most recent travels, I came across some interesting items.
"Oh, yes, I'm always interested in items."
One is a bit of a strange one. It's of and I'll describe the snake that we ran into.
And he's like, that's very
I've ma-
interesting.
I've managed to get one of its fangs.
Oh, interesting. And you can see him kind of lifts up a book bag, a large satchel almost, and starts looking through it and starts pulling out books and starts flipping through books. And he's like, "Oh, yes, well, oh, definitely be interested in that. Definitely take that off your hands. How does $100 sound?"
No, we both know that there's considerably more money in it for you. How about 300?
And he's like, "Oh, Mr. McGinnis, Mr. McGinnis."
Now, we look at these first two items as friendship building items, shall we say, and we can then do business in future. We come to a better understanding, at
"Oh,
which point I make some money, you make some money. I think it could be a very mutual, beneficial friendship moving forward. I
well,
need to have a show of faith with the first couple of items.
well, I thought we had a bit of show of faith when I sold you that pistol."
Well, that pistol caused me some pain and discomfort, shall we say.
Oh well, nothing comes without a price. You know that.
Well, that's true. And this is the price for this item,
Well,
as you've said yourself.
let's see what else you've got, and let's see if we can sort out a bulk deal.
Okay. And I will dig out, because it's not small, it's not very large at all, is it, Ian? The gold
Mm.
serpent thing.
It's probably about a foot in length.
Yep. Pull that out.
He kind of looks at it and he's like, "Oh, that's interesting." And he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a pair of glasses, and you can see there's lots of lenses attached to it. They're all different colours, and he starts changing the lenses and
I'll
looking at
just
it.
advise you, don't try and put it on or try and use it. The last person that did that didn't quite survive so well.
He kind of is lying on the table and he's looking at it with these glasses, changing all the lenses, and he's looking at it and he's like, "Oh, are you sure you actually want to sell this?"
You know what my business is, and this has no benefit for me in my business.
Are you
The
sure?
money, however, could help finance and fund some lucrative opportunities.
Well, he's like,
And I
"Ah,
sell this one to you. You have a look for items that would be more beneficial to me, and we can work from there. For me to get it,
mm."
be able to purchase from you, I need to be able to part with things.
And he kind of looks at it again. He gets a book out and he starts flicking through a book, and he's like, there is a reference to something similar to this, in one of the old tomes." And he looks at it and he's like, "Well, do you know what this is?"
Some rod that allows you to grip and then spew fire from it.
Well, do you remember back in the war? Do you remember flamethrowers in the
Yes,
center? Well, this is a flamethrower without the need of the tank. This uses your internal power to generate the flame.
I'm not much for one to get that up close and personal.
Well, he kind of looks in. And you can kind of see his hand shaking above it, and the bartender suddenly returns with the whiskey for puts it down. He lifts the whiskey and takes a drink. You can see his hand shaking as he kind of reaches for it, and he's like, "Okay, so between the fang that you've got and this, if you don't want it, I'll give you $1,000."
Okay, let's say I take the 1,000 and I get a 30% discount on the next purchase from yourself.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, okay. And he takes another big mouthful of whiskey. And he's like, "Oh well." He's like, "Drive a hard bargain, but yes, okay, definitely. He's
Perfect.
like, "Yes, $1,000." He's like, "Yes, definitely. Oh yes. Eh, this is something beyond belief. I've only ever read of such things, but oh man, this would be amazing. Are you sure you don't want to
Well,
keep it?"
I'm sure I have no real use for it. I've discovered a liking for things that can cause a little bit more damage and go boom a little bit more.
Things that can go boom.
Yes.
It's like, well, in that case, what about this? And he leans into his bag and he pulls out. It's a small capsule. It's about 3 inches. It looks almost like an old hand grenade that you've seen back in the war. But he's like, this goes boom, but this goes boom multiple times. If you throw it, think of it as a reusable hand grenade.
How many uses?
I've not tried that. I don't know. I just know it can be reused. If I was to want to experiment too much with it, I could maybe ruin it.
That is true. That is true.
But
And how much would this item?
for you, for you, Mister, well, I've been told to give you a good deal. We've got some good friends in common.
Life's all about the friends you make and the business connections you have.
Yes, well, you seem to have very powerful friends at the moment. Extremely powerful friends. At this point,
Better to have.
you probably take a drink of your whiskey. You know, most whiskey at the moment in the 1930s is watered down. There's a supply and demand problem. There's so much supply, so much demand, and not enough supply. But this whiskey you're drinking is unwatered down. This is the good stuff. He's like, well, he's like, okay, how about we make a deal? I'll get, I'll give you this grenade, this reusable hand grenade, and $700, and I'll take the snake scepter and the fang from you.
So, why don't we go for 8? Do you know what you're getting with the scepter? I've seen the look you have given it. You know who's going to be willing to buy that and how much you can potentially get for that. We know that an extra 100 from you is nothing compared to what you're going to be earning. And like I say, you will be my first person I speak to whenever I return with anything like this. Again, in any way, you will have exclusive rights to that.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Something that could go with charm.
Oh,
I
you
could
can
be
go.
charming.
You can go with charm then. Yeah, definitely. You can go with charm.
Now,
Only 5% in it.
no, wait a moment.
So success.
It is a success.
He looks at you and he's like, takes another drink of his whiskey and drains glass, puts it down. And he's like, so we don't piss off our mutual friend. I'll make
Shucks.
that deal. 800, the reusable hand grenade, and you give me the fang and the scepter.
Agreed.
Excellent. He's like, great. And he hands you over this hand grenade thing. It's like a stick with a canister on the end. He's like, just twist the end and throw it. It'll explode, and then you can just go and pick it back up and reuse it again.
Now, if I don't get more than one use out of this,
I'll guarantee there's more than one use.
okay, thank you.
I can't guarantee there's more than 2 uses, but I'll guarantee there's more than one use.
A grenade that you can use more than once is classed as reusable.
Yes. So, how's the handgun doing for you?
What, this?
Yes. How's that?
Absolutely perfect.
Oh, good. Definitely thought you and Hit would have got along very well.
I am in the market, though, for something longer ranged.
Something long range. Leave that with me, and I will see what I can do. I will contact our mutual friends. That handgun was one of a kind.
Oh, definitely.
It was the first ever a gun crafted like that. Eh, but definitely, eh, I will definitely see what I can do. But I'm not guaranteeing anything. But yes.
Nothing is guaranteed but birth and death.
Oh, they're not guaranteed.
Oh, they are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, and nor would I.
Oh, the one first's guaranteed, the second isn't. Kind of gives you a smile. Well, excuse me, but I've got more people to meet tonight. But
Certainly, I will leave you to it.
But enjoy yourself. The booth is yours, but definitely, and he reaches into his satchel and pulls out a wad of cash and hands it to you. And
Perfect.
conveniently, the 800 dollars is already wrapped up with like a band around it, and he hands it to you and hands you the reusable hand grenade. He slips stuff into his bag. And good to see you again.
It's nice to see you again.
Looks at you. He looks at you, and you can see he can just gives you a long look, and he's like, "Are you sure you're okay?"
Yes. Never felt better.
Okay. I hope you're okay. He gets up and leaves.
Certainly.
Passes through the curtain. The curtain closes behind you, and you're left sitting in this booth by yourself. Now we'll pass on to Stephen. Stephen, you're standing in this large room. You can see a large glass window in front of you. You can see the trees flashing past. They're all multiple colours: reds, greens, blues, purples, violets, as they fly past at ridiculous speeds underneath you. You can see this large throne in front of you. You can see the large serpent woman sitting in the throne. And she steps up, stands up, and turns around and looks at you. And she's like, "Oh, hello. Are you real?"
I was going to ask you the same question.
She's like, "I'm sure I'm real, but are you real? I've never dreamed about anything like you before."
And Stephen just kind of starts rubbing his eyes, like, are you? I don't even know where to begin with this. I've just been on a mission to extract you from your temple,
Oh, very
and
good.
now I'm able to talk to you.
Has somebody found Moo then?
Yeah, as me and my group, we were able to find it.
You found a lost continent of Moo. She kind of runs
Right,
over to you and grabs you and lifts you off the
Oh, no.
ground. So
No,
you're like,
no, misunderstanding.
she kind of just like, you're about 2 foot off the ground, eye to eye level with her. So and she's like, "What do you mean, misunderstanding?"
We were in Bolivia. I thought you meant the island. I thought the island of Mu was the name of your temple. Sorry, this is a little bit of a trip I'm going on right now. My head's not clear.
And she slowly puts you down and she's like, "Are you sure you're real?"
I'm definitely real. Like I'm just confused as to how I'm able to talk to you right now. I assume this is a hallucination on my part, but let's backtrack. The island of Mu.
The island of Moo, where I'm from, where I'm searching for.
You're not thoughtful for anything. You're asleep.
I
You
know,
have
I
been in
know
a
I'm
slumber for millions of years.
millions of years. She kind of looks off. She's like, "Millions of years. I didn't realize it would be so long. But I was in searching of Moo for Moo."
Are you searching? Are you searching your dreams for Mu?
I was searching for the dreamlands. For it. For the plains. But
And that's why you've been put into your slumber.
I've been searching and for so long. I just, are you sure you're real?
I'm real. But I'm getting a lot of information out of this conversation, which leads me to believe that I'm in a sort of similar state of, I don't know, as the similar state of slumber as you are at the moment. Because one moment ago I was in a place called New York, and now this is not a dream. This feels fundamentally real to me. But yes, I am real, 100%.
Kind of looks you up and down. She looks at you and she's like, "Yes, I don't think I've ever met anyone like you. Or anyone that looks like you, eh? You do kind of remind me of my second husband. But I'm not sure. It's been so long. It's been so long. Searching.
What is it you hope to find with the island of me? Why are you searching for it? Or why have you been searching for it for millions of years? Well, what is the purpose?
It's our lost homeland. It's where we belong. It's where we came from. Do my kind rule the world still?
But just for my benefit, by your kind, do you mean the Nicole?
Yes, serpent people, yes.
No, you do not, unfortunately. Your people are pretty much the rest of the world doesn't even know you exist. I didn't know you existed until a few days ago.
And she's like, oh, oh, interesting. What do you know about my people?
I don't know much. As I said, me and the team, we were on an excavation mission in Bolivia. We found some temples and some ruins that were related to your people, seen some hieroglyphics about the temple which we picked you up from being constructed. Um, that's pretty much all we know. I believe what we saw was your people whipping some sort of large, hairy creatures to make something. Other than that, that's all we know. Nothing much. I'm personally, I'm personally not entirely sure what the organisation who contracted us to pick up your body actually want to do with you. I don't understand the purpose of it whatsoever.
Oh well, I'm not sure either, but I know I was searching for Moo. I haven't found it yet. I think I'm getting close, but I haven't found it yet. It's been so long since I've seen anyone. So nice to see you. Is
How
this?
long does how? Sorry, how long does it feel like you have been in here for?
Oh, days, hours, weeks, months, years? I don't know. Can you tell the time in a dream?
No, that's a very fair point.
It all seems to pass as one, just sitting watching for Moo.
Again, like this move homeland. I know obviously you're searching for it because it's your homeland, but is it worth the dedicated search for this long to like because your people became not extinct because there are some that are still there, but they're pretty much non-existent now throughout the world. Was it worth what you've done?
I don't know. I was only meant to be searching for a few years, uh, the most. Uh, I think the search has taken so long, and we haven't found anything. I've just been searching so long. My people entrusted me to find Moo, but has it been long? Has it? I've just went to sleep.
Yeah,
You
I
see,
think
you've met my people. Tell me what they're like.
your people. Well, they were violent and they tried to attack us and kill us. My group, we had to fight back.
Oh,
So we didn't have the best encounter. And trying to excavate your temple left me with quite the mark on my chest. And then I'll kind of like just sort of open up my shirt and kind of reveal the scales that are starting to grow on my chest.
as you open your shirt and scaled chest, she reaches forward with a scaled finger and runs it down your chest. She's like, "Oh, interesting, interesting," and rubs her finger down your chest.
You are a child of Moo now.
She's like,
Just telling any Cart Connells.
she just rubs her finger down it, and she's like, "Oh, interesting, but surprising, but interesting."
How surprising.
Oh, you've gone under some form of a partial hybridization.
I don't even know if it's reversible in any way. But
It's like,
it's with me now.
oh, it's reversible. Why would you want to? Why would you want to be an ape?
Well, I mean, I'm not an ape for one.
Oh,
I'm a
you're an
human.
ape. You evolved from apes. Your
Yeah,
name.
but that fundamental means we're not an ape. That I think we're getting by the by. Honestly, I have a wife, and I don't think she'll appreciate a snake husband, as stupid as it sounds.
Kind of strokes your cheek with her clawed fingers, and she's like, "Yes, definitely. You do remind me of my second husband. Yes, but he tasted so nice. I was sorry to eat him. And then your species, you apes are so fragile." She rubs your face.
Anyway, like I'm still trying to understand the purpose of why I'm here. Because I feel like I was put in this slumber state to be here, like intentionally, clearly to talk to you. Can you understand why I might be here? Can you understand what might have pulled me to this place?
Well, there's many things we could have pulled you to this place. We are in the dreamland. Are you a dreamer?
I'm not a dreamer, but funnily enough, I practice magic and the arcane, and these only magic I know is revolved around dreaming, and in terms of putting people into sleep, sending dreams and nightmares.
Kind of looks deep into your eyes. Her face is so close to yours as her tongue slips out. You can feel it like touch your cheek.
That bit broke me.
And she kind of like,
Okay.
she looks into your eyes and she looks and she's like, yes, yes, you are a dreamer.
Just clarify for me, what does that mean?
Oh, so much, but nothing, but everything while you're here.
Is that why I'm maybe here to help you find this island of Moo?
Oh no, yes, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like there may be. And she kind of looks at you, and you can feel the snake tongue roll down your cheek. And she looks at you, and she's like, I think there may be something else involved in this. I'm not sure.
What might that be?
She's like, I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure we will meet again, either in this world or the dreaming world. And she kind of puts her hand up and grasps your face and your neck. Takes her other hand. You can see the sharp fingernail on it, the claws. And she takes her fingernail and slowly starts cutting into your chest while she's holding your throat and your whole face tight. She slowly starts cutting the sigil into your chest. She can't move. It's like, this will allow me to contact you when you dream.
Um, Thanks, I guess.
At that point, you wake up. You're
Where,
sitting.
where am I?
You're sitting in the hospital in a chair. You look out further. You can see Claire sitting in the hospital bed. She's sitting up. You can see though that her face is a little bit gaunt. Her cheeks are drawn in. Her eyes are slightly sunken. Her hair's slightly thinned. But you're sitting in a hospital bed. Eh, sitting next to her. She looks at you and she's like, "Ah, so you're awake." Like
Um,
the nurse said you came in a few hours ago and sat down while I was asleep and fell asleep.
um, oh, gee, yes, Claire, how are you? Oh, Claire, sorry, I've just had a terrible dream. Um,
She's like, "It's okay.
I,
You look tired."
I feel it. It's just one of those dreams, of those sleeps when you're gone and when you wake up, you don't feel like you've slept and you feel more tired. Sort of one of those.
She's like,
It's a strange one.
"Oh, eh." She looks at you and she's like, "Oh well, do you know the nurse said you came in 2 or 3 hours ago and sat down while I was asleep, and you sat down and you fell asleep. But you looked like you needed it. Do you know I was She looked she's like, I was remembering the other day. Do you remember our trip to Blackpool
Hmm.
when
Yes, I do.
you didn't book enough hotel nights? and we had to spend the night on the promenade underneath a blanket.
Yeah, I remember. That's the night I fell in love with you.
Oh,
It's fun. Do you know? That's just so strange. So strange. I dreamt I was telling you the stories I was sleeping.
it's like, oh,
That
but oh no, it was the best night of my life. She's like, we have to go back to Blackpool. Definitely.
really,
Once I get better, we'll have to go back.
yeah. And I'll make sure you are. That's all I care about. I promise. And here, I got you some gifts. And I'll kind of go into the bag and take out the teddy bear. Now that I know that this is actually fucking reality, and give her the teddy bear and the chocolates and stuff and the sweets. Listen, Claire. I need to run to the toilet. Do you mind if I just dart off for 2 seconds?
She's like, of course.
Cool.
As you run out, one of the
One.
nurses stop you, and she's like, "Hey, sorry, is it Stephen? Sorry, yes, Stephen, yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
Stephen.
yes, Stephen. We're going to be moving your wife. We're moving her to the fourth floor. Uh,
Okay.
She'll be moved to a private room. Caduceus Foundation are going to be paying for her treatment from now on. I just need you to sign these forms." She hands you a set of forms.
Of course. No, saying it straight away.
Okay, and you see like 2 or 3 nurses heading into her room. She's like, fourth floor, room 6. Should be in there.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you very much.
So you head off to the bathroom. You can see
Yes,
nurses
when I go.
moving, clear out. What are you doing?
Yeah, just as Claire's coming out, kind of shout, I'll be up in a second, dear. I'll get you in a minute, okay? And I'm going darting to the toilet. And when I'm in there, like I'm assuming there's a mirror.
Yep.
Like, see if I'm able to kind of open up my shirt.
Yeah.
Do I see anything on my chest? What do I
Yep.
see?
So as you open up your shirt, you can see the large snake scales over your chest where you were hit with a beam, but you can also see like a circle carved into it with almost like a F shape in the middle of the circle carved into your skin.
Shit. At this point, Stephen's just gonna kind of like, just kind of almost like profusely panic for a moment, then sort of be sick into the toilet. Like I'm gonna letting Stephen at that point will then go into his bag and take out a notepad and sort of like look at the symbol that's on his chest and draw it as close to as he can. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit scraggly, but kind of just try and draw as close a match as he possibly can,
Okay.
and put that back in his bag for a later point.
So as you reach into your bag, there's a strange book in your bag. It's a red leather book, so there's no title on the cover.
I'll open it.
So the first page on large font is the words Wolves of the Land. There's no author, there's nothing else other than Wolves of the Land.
Wolves of the Land.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. She's taking that into my possessions. I've not got time, and I'm just going to think I've not got time to read this at the moment. I will close it for now.
Okay.
With the plan of reading it just later tonight when I get some time, just back in the apartment. Put it in my bag, draw that symbol, and then go up and see Claire again.
Okay. So as you head back up, you can see that this room is a very nice room. There's a TV. Very rarely you can see a TV in a hospital room. There's a radio. It's a very private room. There's a nice view over like out of Manhattan, over the bay, things like that. It's a very nice room. But I think that's probably a good point to stop for tonight. At this point, my Discord decides to die. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about this. I do not know what causes this.
Over to the
Sorry.
data rather than the Wi-Fi was the key.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry about that. My Discord just died at that point there. But I think that's probably a good point to stop for 10 minutes before we pick up anything else.
Cute.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Get easy. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ian, go for it.
So, we've spent some time with Stephen. Hey, Francis, Victor, is there anything else you've got planned for the evening?
I
Nope.
concluded all the business I was looking to do, so it'll be back to the house for a nice relaxing evening.
What about
We'll
you,
see.
Victor?
No, Victor will be spending his time researching to see how to go about this next experiment.
Okay. So you spend a few hours researching, late into the night, reading through, looking at like Grey's Anatomy, other biological books. But yeah, your evening passes without much event. Stephen, at this point in time, you look at your watch, it's about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Is there anything particular you'd want to do now your wife's been moved to another room on the fourth floor?
Am I still in the hospital?
Yep.
Cool. Just kind of like sitting over clearing the next room. Because I've so just got questions as to why the room is as fancy now. Just wanted to explain. I've started working with a new organisation, and the organisation is, we'll say, very well financially backed. I did always say that I would do whatever I could to try and cover some of the bills for your health, and just so happens this organisation's covering every penny. So just relax, get better, don't stress about what I'm doing out there to try and make ends meet. We're covered. I do have some other business that I need to attend to for said organisation just back home. So I'm going to go, and I'll pop back the first chance I get clear. Okay. So I love you very much, and I'll see you soon. And I'll kiss her in the head, and then I'll leave.
But just as you
Um,
lean forward to kiss her in the head, she takes your hand, she looks at you and she's like, don't do anything dangerous. Just be safe. And I love you.
I will, Claire. I will. Um, and I'll give her hand a squeeze, and leave the hospital. And assuming nothing happens in that time, head back to the apartment. Go in, go in the door and kind of lock all the doors and make sure that everything's like as secure as it can in the entire apartment. Then kind of like sit down and just open up the wills of the land on the table and start to have a kind of glance through it, what it is.
So you're going to give it a quick initial read. It's a strange book. It's red cover, there's no title on the front. The first page dictates the name of the book, printed in a large font, but there's no name of the author. As you start flicking through the book, you can see it's almost a dramatized first person report of a small tribe in Africa. The book covers practices of the tribe. Give me 1 second.
Don't say that in my presence.
Yeah, you can see the book covers practices of this tribe. It's their bloody treatment of the other tribes around them. Apologize. Eh,
You're right there, Ian.
yeah, sorry. But the book goes into strange rituals that the tribes performed, including human sacrifice, brutal cannibalism, and necrophilia. It also talks about a ritual that the tribe used to extend their lives. But if you want to spend more time reading it, it'll probably take you about 2 weeks. But at this point, can you roll me a sanity roll? So you lose 1 point of sanity reading through this book, but you know there's something in this book. You don't know what it is, but between it's almost like a first person account, but the author's very exaggerates a lot. It adds fancy languages and fancy linguistics, and it's very hard to read. You know, it'll probably take you a good couple of weeks to make your way through this whole entire book, but it will take some time. But the strange thing is, you can't remember where it came from.
see, even on just like the back, maybe kind of like the index area or just wherever, is there like a note or like any reference to who the previous owner might have been, or like just any name at all, or is it just completely just pan blank?
It looks like whoever was writing it got 3/4 of the way, almost to the end of the book, and it stopped abruptly. It's just skim through it. It's almost like they stopped mid sentence with the writing.
Well, I'll get through what I can tonight, which I'm assuming that's what you've explained.
Yep.
Put the book away in my bag. Make sure it's in a safe place beside me when I go to sleep.
Okay.
And then go to sleep. I'll pick up another time.
So as all three of yous head to sleep for the evening, the next morning rolls around. About 10, 11 o'clock, Francis, you get a phone call from Dr. Shapiro at the Caduceus Foundation. Won't you?
Hello.
Hello, is this Francis?
It is. How can I help?
I was wondering, could you come in for a meeting at 2 o'clock today? We may have something that requires your attention.
2 o'clock a.m. or p.m.?
PM.
Okay. Yes, I will be there.
And same with you, you, Stephen, you get a phone call. This is Dr. Shapiro.
Thank you again, Shapiro.
I was wondering, could you head into the Caduceus building for 2 o'clock today?
Okay. I'll do it. I'm through.
Great. We've got something that we might need your help with.
Interesting. I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
And the same with you, Victor. You get a very similar call.
Could I? Is this?
Yes, this is Shapiro. Yes.
Could I make a requisition whilst I'm on the phone with you?
Well, what do you require?
I need a containment cylinder made of very strong glass, about 8 feet tall.
Okay.
With inlets and outlets in it for chemicals.
Okay. Head into the Caduceus office about 12 o'clock today, if you don't mind.
Yes, that's fine.
And we'll see what we can get.
Thank you. Could I have it delivered to my lab?
Well, we'll discuss that when you get in at 12.
Excellent, thank you.
Excellent. So, if there's nothing you just want to do in the morning, we can skip towards 12 o'clock.
I was actually going to say I was wanting to head in earlier as well, Ian, because I'm pretty sure I left a list of those wild herbs I was looking for, like just at a punt to see if the requisitions could get a hold of them. They could do too.
How
Just to
early are
see-
you
just to
heading
see
in?
what I've got.
Are you heading in about 1 to 12, 11?
Just to be, we'll say 11, just to be a little bit awkward.
Okay. So you heading at 11, You can meet up with oh, hang on, what is it? His name? A book.
Okay. You gotta get it right, Damien.
He's looking up something.
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
I can't remember the
I
guy's
didn't
name.
even see his little face looking at the book. Fair enough.
Yeah, he reached behind him, got the book.
Yeah, no, I totally missed that.
Sorry, I do
He's too busy looking
apologize.
up. Cammy's too busy looking up Snake Lady Bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you head.
I'll not be able to sleep with that tonight.
So
Just constant waifu dreams.
So Stephen, as you arrive, you head up to level 7. You meet with Connors, the quartermaster, and he looks up at you and he's like, "Oh well, I've got some of them. I haven't managed to get them all. You give me quite short notice, but I've got most of them." And he hands you over like 4 or 5 little paper packages that are all folded up. There's names written on the outside of the packages of what's inside them. Like, So I could get.
This is perfect. Do you know what? I know it was short notice. I'm surprised you were able to find as much as you have. Leave it with me. I can get the rest. Thank you very much for your help.
He's
I
like, oh,
appreciate it.
he's like, not a problem, but yeah, yeah, that's all I could get. It's short notice, the other stuff should be in about a week, but at the moment that's all I've got.
Not below. I can always. I mean, it's New York after all. There's weird and wonderful things everywhere. I can always try and, if I've got any spare time, try and rattle around and see if I can find it. If I can't, then I'll be back in a week. But thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, great, brilliant, thanks. No problem. So as we roll around to 12 o'clock, Victor, you arrive at the Caduceus building. You head up to the 8th floor. As you get off the lift, Shapiro's standing there waiting on you. You can see he's in a familiar grey suit, waving, flapping his hat, trying to fan himself. He's like, oh, the heat in these buildings. He's like, Victor, good to see you.
Hello.
He's like, would you mind coming with me? And he steps back into the lift that you've just got out and reaches in
Yeah.
his pocket and pulls out a set of keys, slides across a panel and sticks a key in, turns it, and the lift starts heading down. It heads further and further down, and eventually you head into what you could think is the basement. And the doors open, and he's like, this is where most of our additional work and research takes place. You know, the non-public research.
I understand.
Like, so follow me. And he heads down these corridors. It comes to a door, opens the door, and heads in. And it's quite a large room. It's probably about 30 foot square. And he's like, how does this room look to you? It's quite empty at the moment, but about 30 foot square.
If I pick up what you mean, it has potential for what I need to do.
Well, this could be your new laboratory room if you wish.
Done deal.
Excellent. He's like, if you head upstairs and tell Connors what you require, he'll have as much as you can acquisitions for you over the next week or two. But yes, everything you need, just let Connors know, and he'll get this room fitted out for you.
Excellent.
Yes, and he hands you a key. Like, hey, between you, me, and Joshua Meaton are the only three people with a key to this room. Okay,
Who is the third person, sorry?
Joshua Meaton. He's the man who owns this whole building, who runs and manages the whole Caduceus. Who started Caduceus.
Very well.
He has access to everything. But he doesn't get involved very often with this kind of stuff down here. Like, well, let me show you around. And he starts leading you down corridors and showing you like different laboratories and different rooms. There's animals. You notice one of the rooms has a tiger in a cage. Further down, you can see what looks like the remains of a large serpent hound thing in one of the rooms that somebody's dissecting. And like, oh yes, we've got multiple things. He's like, but there's one thing I would like you to look at for me while if you've got some time now. It's this, and he takes you into a room. There's a large machine. There's lots of valves. There's lots of tubes and pipes and things like that. This is a crowning achievement. This is a viral analyzer. You can give it any kind of a substance, be it water, a any kind of liquid almost, water, bodily fluid, and things like that, and it will scan for any known viruses in it. This one though, we've got a slight issue with. Every time we test the water, it tells us there's anthrax in the water.
I can run some tests.
Yes, definitely. I'll have it sent to your laboratory. Could you just see what you could do and have a look over it?
Yes.
Excellent. But yes, go and speak with Connors. He will get you everything you need. He's up on the 7th floor.
Okay. I'll just turn around and walk back out and head to the elevator and go down.
Okay, so you head up to the 7th floor. Shapiro heads up to the 8th floor. You spend some time with Connors, giving him a list of everything you need for your laboratory. He doesn't seem phased with anything you suggest or anything you tell him. It's all absolutely fine. He writes a list. He's like, yes, some of the more abnormal stuff will take a week or two, but yes, I'm sure we can have. If we can't get it retail, we can have it fabricated for you.
Can you falsify death records?
That's not my area, but we can. Why?
Just for future reference.
We have done on in the past, as far as I know, but we try not to.
Okay.
Uh, but yes, definitely. He's like, and he looks at his watch. He's like, oh, it's 2 o'clock. Haven't you got a meeting with Shapiro?
Yes. Goodbye. And turn around and walk away again.
So Stephen and Francis both end up in meeting room 8. Shapiro comes in and he sits down. He's like, ah, gentlemen, you can see him fanning himself with his hat. He's like, so we called you here because we've got an issue. There's been reports of an incident in North Borneo. The North Borneo Mining Company have reported a very bad case of contagious hepatitis. But contagious hepatitis takes anything between 2 and 6 weeks to manifest symptoms. This is taking between 2 and 6 hours to manifest symptoms. We think it is actually the Yellow Death. But you're the only team we have in the area that we could send out to check. So we're going to send you out, and hopefully this isn't the Yellow Death. Or if it is a Yellow Death, it is something we can contain. Do you have any questions?
What's Yellow Death?
The Yellow Death is what's the best way to describe it? Think of it as the worst way to die you could ever think of. And
There's many a way that I can think of to die horribly.
think about it like exploding glands in your throat, bleeding yellow liquid from your eyes, coughing up vile, thick yellow liquid, internal organs liquefying as you slowly vomit them out.
How do we stop catching this if it is?
I was just about to ask that. And what we expected to do with this exactly? Exactly contain it?
Well, they've got a quarantine site set up at the moment, which we're containing it. But we've read things for some of our serpent people taxis that we've acquired over time. The Yellow Death is a serpent person biological weapon. They used to
Oh.
use it when like humans or as they called as apes got too much in one area. They would drop the Yellow Death in. It passes through people quite quickly, kills off a large area, and then burns out. Our main concern is this has been modified somehow And if it has, how far can it spread?
So,
Is there any interest on your part to find out if it has been modified? Who is the culprit for modifying?
Oh yes, we would definitely think it might be the inner night, but if anybody's going to be doing it, it would be them. But I will head with you. We'll go head over. We'll try and analyze this. We'll see if we can find either a vaccine or a cure for this, and hopefully it isn't the Yellow Death. But if it is, hopefully they haven't modified it, and we can contain it in the quarantine zone. But yeah, the North Borneo Chartered Company. eh, have asked for our assistance so we can head in without any kind of interference. So the first cases were reported on March the 16th. The first deaths occurred on March 18th. They talk about it being infected hepatitis, but the infection rate is far too high. So I've got we've got a plane ready. Hey, Stephen, you can fly, can't you?
Um, Sorry, for a moment I thought you meant can I fly like a hero? Yes, I can. I can indeed
Yes.
fly.
So yes, you and one of our additional pilots will probably pilot our plane. But can we head out tomorrow? Would you be okay to leave tomorrow? We're the only team in the area.
Do you have any samples of this yellow fever here at the moment?
No, we don't. We've only got some reports on it. It's very historical texts talking about it. Just it seems some of the symptoms are very similar in these historic texts to what we're getting reported.
Very well.
do we have any?
I am free. I am free to go tomorrow.
Do we have any library books or books here on yellow fever and the area that
Uh,
we're going to be going to?
yes, we've got some historical texts that discuss about the Yellow Death. Uh, but not in too great detail. You know, this hasn't been we haven't seen anything like this for millennia. But some of the texts are very vague. But yes, definitely we have some things in our archive. You're more than welcome to have a look. Uh,
Certainly.
I would just recommend we limit human to human contact.
We use any means necessary.
Any means necessary. That hopefully the idea is to and treat, identify and identify if it is the Yellow Death and treat it if we can, either vaccine or cure. Either that, we keep the area quarantined until everybody inside is dead.
Oh, containing cure, basically.
We will be going with some equipment. We've got a plane ready to leave 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay,
So if there's any things you need, get yourselves ready. We'll be out here at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
perfect.
And I guess I'm going to visit Connors and I get up and walk away.
I have some scavenging to do across New York for some supplies, which I will go and get. But Shapiro, just before I leave, do you recognise the symbol? And I'll go into my notepad and take out the drawing of the sort of F shape that you mentioned earlier and
Yep.
slide it across. Do you recognise that?
He looks at it and he's like, oh, it looks familiar. But oh, oh yes, it does look familiar. And he's like, come with me. And he heads down onto the seventh floor. He's like, Francis probably the same way as you're heading into the archive room. And he goes and pulls out a book. He lifts it up and he's like, yes, it's uh, it links dreams. And he flips a book and it shows you a picture of this a very similar symbol to the one carved into your chest. He's like, yes, yes, it's about like being able to link people in the dreamlands, or something like that. But I'm not sure. He's like, oh, Francis, here's the books you want, and pulls out and hands you a book. Which
Thank you.
he's like, it's only got the only references we've got to the Yellow Death, but you can see the symptoms are very similar to what was described. Yellow liquid leaking from the eyes and nose, vomiting up yellow liquid and things.
Does it give any indication on how to spot somebody who has early stages?
As you look for the book, basically it says that if you got it within 2 days, you're almost dead.
Okay.
The first signs are slightly tinting yellow eyes, leaking yellow fluid from the nose. You can see that the glands in the throat and under the arms begin to start swelling in early stages. And then after that, it's pus and liquidized organs.
Not very pleasant at all.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
and I'm going to look for some books on the area that we're going to be going to. Nearest sort of population areas, where the quarantine zone is, how close it is to any of our towns, villages, or whatever.
Okay. So you can see it's quite close as you look through the maps. Uh, it's quite close to Mount. Uh, yes, it's quite close to a mountain. I cannot remember the name of the mountain off the top of my head, but I will show you a map of the quarantine zone that you see. So there's like farmland, there's a tobacco farm, there's also a surveying where they've been like surveying into the mountain. There's also a army camp and an airstrip not far away from it. There's one of the largest mountains in North Borneo, just to the north of where it is.
Okay.
But it's all surrounded by quite a thick area, a thick woodland and things like that.
Okay. Once I've done all this research and that, I'm going to pay Connors a visit, see if he's managed to source my scope. I'm not expecting him to have, because it's a very short time, but hey, you never know. And then head home and pack up all my stuff and come and sleep in the office, ready to leave here at 9 a.m.
Okay. So you spend a couple hours searching through these books and things like that. Stephen, what you doing? You heading out once you've been shown about this symbol?
Yeah, but what I'll do is just spend a small amount of time to see if I can dust up any the remainder of these components from shops around New York. Doubt I could, but it's worth a little bit of a check. And then ideally leave myself a good few hours. I mean, like about like 8 to 10 hours, like before I need to go to sleep to come home and then start cracking through more of that the Wills of the Land book that I found.
Okay. So roll me a luck roll.
It's, whoa, for 95.
Yeah, so you spend a couple hours heading through New York, but you can't. There's just that one ingredient that you need that you just cannot find, no matter where you look. It just doesn't
Yeah,
seem to exist. Eh, Victor, what are you
sorry.
doing?
I'm going to Connell's
Yep.
to see if I can get um, free full head gas masks.
Okay. He starts writing this down. Starts writing.
Four some. I need one for Shapiro as well.
Okay.
5 filters each. Rubberized overalls or something similar, like thick, heavy protective overalls.
Okay.
Boots and gloves. And iodine solutions.
Okay. And he starts writing down this. Is like He's like, it's 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You're going out, aren't you?
Yes.
I'll see what I can do. Can't guarantee anything, but I'll definitely see what I can get. Gas mask might be okay, but the rubber suits. The
Does
diving suits.
as long as they're not too thick, still have to be able to move, and we're going to quite a warm place, so
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. If I can find anything, I'll have them packed on the plane for you for tomorrow.
excellent.
He's like, Shapiro mentioned something about you've got a lab downstairs. If you want to like leave me a list of what you need, I can have things fitted out for you getting back. Hopefully.
Connors, my friend, I've already been here and done that
Yeah.
before my meeting.
It's like, oh yeah, so you are, eh? Oh, he's like, it was one of the days. Eh, oh man.
Did you get a break here?
It's like, yeah. It's like, that's actually a good idea. And he leans into his like a desk drawer, pulls out a bottle of whiskey, and pours himself a glass, and pours you a glass, and lights a cigarette. And he's like, yeah, it's time for a break. And you can tell by the look of Connors, this is not his first break of the day.
I will happily join them.
So, uh, Stephen, as you spend the rest of the night reading The Wolves of the Land, the book's interesting. It's hard to make out because it's this dramatized first person view of this tribe where it's hard because it goes into quite a lot of detail of like the fact that they pillage other tribes, they brutally massacre the people from the other tribe, the the acts of heinous sodomy that they perform on these people are just it's just really hard to like read and keep your eyes on it. It also gets to the point that it like almost feels like the author is getting involved in these acts and it's just becoming harder and harder to read as it goes on. But it does tweak your interest. It talks about the fact that the tribe the tribe had an ability to extend their life, that they could almost stop time. It talks about a ritual that they performed that allowed them to gain extra days, but it also talks about the fact that the tribe worshipped the god of many masks, the herald of Azathoth. It's okay, I'll share this information with you, don't worry. But yeah, it does talk about a lot of this thing, and it's very hard to read, but it will take more time to work out and to find out what it actually covers than one night. It'll probably take you a good
It's
couple of
back.
weeks.
It'll be back.
Yeah, at least it's not me this time. Do you know what I mean? I've actually had quite a good record.
Oh, it's just my Discord's been an asshole. Okay,
One week where nothing happens.
yeah, we'll eventually get to that point. But yeah, I will.
That'll be the dream.
I will share this book with you on Roll20.
Awesome.
There you go.
Cool. What was it you got to there just before you got cut off?
Honestly, can't remember. So yeah,
I
it was
don't know.
about
Go for it.
the god of many masks, the herald of Azathoth.
Yeah.
But it is hard to read, and it'll take you a good couple of weeks to get your head around it. But yeah, it does talk about this ritual that they use to extend their lives, to give themselves extra days. But again, it's from the point of view of someone observing, but almost fictional, dramatized observing. Try and piece something together from it is going to take time.
Just one last question. Like, this is more just for me to mark it down myself. Obviously, this you said this book will probably take me about a couple of weeks to read. Is there like a sort of hour count or something that we want to work against so that I know roughly how much I've got left?
Nah,
Or
that's
is that
okay.
something you're just going to
I'll
manage as we go through?
yeah, I'll just manage it as we go through.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, well,
So
when I've made my bet, I'll just pack up my stuff for the trip and then go to sleep.
so if nobody's got anything else to do, we'll roll ahead to 9 o'clock the next hour. Victor, yep.
I want to leave instructions that when the lab is ready, if we're still away, I want somebody to go collect Ivan and all of my possessions from my current lab and move them into the new lab. And Ivan is to stay in the lab at all times and watch over Manus.
Okay.
And somebody should bring him food and stuff like that so he doesn't get cranky and eat one of the attendants.
Okay. You leave these notes. Shapiro looks at you kind of strange, but he leaves the notes with people, and that all seems to be getting taken care of for you. So we can roll forward to 9 o'clock the next morning. You all arrive at the Caduceus building, get shuttled into a private car, taken off the private airport, all mount up onto the plane. Stephen, as you head up to the cockpit, you can see there's a man sitting there in the co-pilot seat, and he looks up at you and he's like, "Hey, afternoon. Hey, how are you doing?"
Morning.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm very well.
like, good. Hey, Mr. Muir, is it? I'm going to be your. Sorry, was that?
Sorry, I heard you say about that. We'll redo that. Yeah, it is indeed, mate. What's your name?
Like, hey, Johnson.
Johnson. Nice to meet you, mate. Shake his
Eh,
hand.
I'll be taking over some of the flying for this flight. It's a long trip, so it's good to have someone else who could pilot for a bit. Eh,
Sounds good. Well, pleasure to meet you, Johnson. I look forward to flying with you.
good. It's nice to fly with you. Eh, you can see all the stuff's getting crates are getting loaded into the back. There's a large crate, it's about 6 foot by 6 foot, loaded into the back. A couple other crates. Before we do that, is there anything special or particular that you would be taking with you? I'll assume you'll have like clothes and things with you, but is there anything else?
No, just my usual medical supplies and a few vials of my special serum.
Okay.
For me, it's just it's basically just what I've already got. I would have left the clear pen just back in the apartment. But I am taking my occult tome, The Wills of the Land, so I can read it when I can, and everything else that I had. So the flying fang, my guns, nothing special.
What about you, Francis?
I have a rather nice, swanky looking, top of the line canvas bag that when you open it looks like it's got some really nice high market clothes, but actually behind it it has guns, ammunition, knives and grenades and that sort of stuff, which isn't obvious.
Okay. Well, you can tell it's a private airport, and nobody seems to check any of your stuff into this cargo plane.
Old habits die hard.
He's all get this cargo plane, and you start heading off towards North Borneo. It's a good 6-7 hour flight. Hey, middle flight, Francis, can you roll me a Constitution roll?
Why?
Just my bumpy flying that's making him sick.
Fuck this.
Success. Your stomach's grumbling. It's painful, but you're not. It's not evacuating. It's not that rumble in the jungle. It doesn't come out without a push. But yeah, your stomach's rumbling. It's painful, but not too bad. I think it might have been the whiskey or something. But so eventually, you arrive almost at North Borneo. Eh, Steven, since you're flying, can you make me a spot hidden roll?
Oh.
Yes. Okay. So at this point, Johnson turns around to you and he looks at you and he's like, "What's that?" And points out the side window.
Because you says
Nice way to fudge my failed smart and roll.
you say his name is Johnson, right? And then you're like, "What's that?" It just reminded me of a scene from Austin Powers, where it's the dick-shaped rocket. It's a Johnson.
Johnson kind of points over and he's like, "What's that?" And you can see off in the distance this. It looks like a bird, but it's larger than a bird. It's jet black, and it's flying towards the plane.
How much can we make out of it, Ian?
What?
How much can we make out of it? Like, does it look like the Fogula spawn things?
No, it definitely has wings flapping. But no, it looks like a large bird, almost, but nah, it can't be a bird. It it seems to have it's almost like a humanoid with wings. It's flying towards you. Just turns around and he looks at the other window and he's like, "There's another one over there." Points. You can see slightly closer this large black humanoid with large black almost oily black wings, large spiked tail, two horns on top of its head, flying towards the plane.
Oh, good. Can I see the others in the back? As you said, it's a small plane. They can all see me, eh?
Yeah, it's like a cargo. It's like a modified cargo plane.
Cool. And it's got windows, right?
Yeah.
Gents, you might want to look out the windows. We have some company. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it does not look friendly.
I'm going to have a look out the left-hand window.
Okay, so if you both want to make me spot hidden rolls.
Nice.
Okay. So, Francis, as you look out, you can see quite close to you this large humanoid, large wings, horns on its head, large tail with spike on the end. But it doesn't have a face. Which face should be it's smooth. Victor, you can see the same kind of thing, but you just can't make out if it has a face or not. But Francis, you look around, you spot one, you spot two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all flying towards you.
There's about 8 that I can see from this side. What we're going to do? You're flying, Steve.
I don't fucking know. Just outrun them, I guess.
What would happen if I opened the door and shot at them at where we are?
You're probably gonna get sucked out, mate.
Well, it's not a pressurized plane. It's 1933. There's not pressurized
Okay.
planes, so you could open the door and shoot out. But I think with these creatures flying towards you, it's a perfect point to stop for the evening.
Well, we all know what I'm doing next game.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm really regretting only putting 35 into my fucking pilot now. Yeah, you never do luck refreshes. Can I get a pilot refresh?
Nope.
That's what your luck's for.
Let's just hope you pass the pilot skill so that you can upgrade it later.
Just my first roll is 100. Just plummet the plane straight away.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
Do you know what? I'm gonna roll a pilot and see. Do you know? No, so I was gonna roll a pilot and see what I got, but we'll just do it next time. It'll be more fun that way because I'd be more raging if I got like a 1 or something or a 2, and I'm like, ah, cool. Then next time I fucked it. Not doing it. Cool.
Well, I hope
Awesome.
he's all
That
had
was
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting. It sounds like it's gonna get spicy next time. Oh, Ian, there's
Not
there's
as
a point,
spicy as you and
actually.
Snake Lady.
Yeah, fuck off. Ian, just a quick question. With regards to hit points, like, because I started that game on 7, should I be higher?
You've had 3 days, so you should have 9 additional hit points.
9 additional hit points. Okay.
Yeah.
That go for me
so
as well.
that's-
No, you should have 18 additional hit points.
Okay.
In fact, you should have 9 as well.
I'm at max. I only lost one at the end of last one.
I'm almost
Cool.
at max.
Awesome. Right. Well, in terms of the game, thank you everyone who was on Twitch for coming along and watching. We really appreciate it. And again, if everyone could head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, we would very much appreciate that too. And we will be on at the exact same time next week. So until then, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.